money don't last, the friends don't last. The only thing that lasts is the pain. So it's like if I'm going back to collect more of that.
I like how you said that. So my environment was the confirmation for what needed to change and for who I had to be. I knew my father wasn't there all the times that I needed him. You feel what I'm saying? So I didn't want to be like that for my children.
You know what I'm saying? On the level of racism, on the level of the hardships, we got our hardships, but the hardships on black men back then.
Yeah. Oh, it's no comparison.
You know what I mean? Drugs, alcohol, all of that.
Why is the lion the king of the jungle? Why the lion is really the king of the jungle? Because they're relentless. Lions make a decision to do something. And when they make a decision to do it, they do it with they won't back down. They're relentless. They fight.
Anything can happen. Like, yeah, you probably nigga street like kick that shit out. I wasn't kicking nothing out. Like, I don't know, like that shit just in me for real.
I'm good, yeah. So I had to practice not letting my emotions get to me.
But it's deeper than that too. Like black has so many different meanings, you know what I'm saying? And I researched all this, and then in my paintings, the last color I use in all my pieces is the black. So I come around with this really black, bold line.
Always be doing good. So when something really bad happens, I see so much good in the bad shit that I can't even take it like it's bad. I just be like, you know what, God did that. I'm gonna embrace that.
It's good to help others, but don't take away from what you need to build on with yourself.
Top 3 books is Salvage the Bones by Jessamine Ward, Narrative and Life of Frederick Douglass by Frederick Douglass, and The Cook Up by me. They're my favorite 3 books of all time because all 3 of these different books challenged me, made me become a better storyteller, and took a regular fucking American story and made that shit epic. They my top 3 books. Top 3 films: Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing changed my life. I'd never seen a person wear Air Jordans, the same Jordans I had at the time the movie came out, on an actual screen. It fucked my head up. Like, yo, this nigga bugging out really had. Yeah, I'd never seen that shit before. Like, think about it.
Before Spike
did that, what movie did you come up? Right, I mean,
especially if you older.
Boys in the Hood, they had Chuck Taylors and all that shit. I don't know what the fuck Cuba Gooding them niggas was wearing. Weird ass church shoes. Yeah, so Spike Lee, the dude had Jordans on, same Jordans I had, and then the messaging hit me different when I was like 6 or 7 years old, or whenever that shit came out. It hit me another way when I was like 15 and watched it again. And then when I started watching it every year after I turned like 21, it started hitting me in different ways. That was only one movie though.
Oh, that's right,
Two more movies. I'm gonna pay my debt. Autobiography of Malcolm X.
Oh, definitely.
Malcolm X is
I almost gonna tell you can't even name that one, but
yo, it was so powerful though. Like it was so good because that was like the second book I ever read in my life, and then to see it in film was just, it was crazy. It was crazy to me. It was like, Spike made the list twice. That's crazy. And then the third is Trading Places. Trading Places, one of Eddie Murphy joint, because that shit showed me what opportunity a nigga can really do anything if he get a shot. This man was a fucking bum. They put his ass on Wall Street in Philly, whatever they Wall Street called it. He turned all the way the fuck up. And the white man was in a situation coming out of jail, playing some drugs on him, took all his money, cut his resources off, cut his family off, and he waving a gun at people. So that movie, even though it was supposed to be a comedy, that movie low-key showed you what opportunity is.
I never looked at that like that. I wouldn't expect you to
shit
throw
fucked
that in there.
it fucked my head up, bro. Like, ever since I was little and watching that film, I always thought about, God damn, yo, that nigga just had a shot. He was a scammer out there stealing. You get this man some legitimacy, he turned up. Like, it's so many black people in the publishing industry, like don't really got a backstory. Like, they don't really come from the streets like that. So a lot of them look down on street niggas the same way that white people do. And then like, so when I'm in these rooms and when I get these opportunities, they judging me off of shit that I've done in the last 5 years. But when I was coming in there at the beginning, they judging me off of my life, and they was like, yo, this nigga's not gonna make it. Like, straight up. And I ain't worked extra hard to prove nothing to nobody except for like myself and my own family. But at the end of the day, that just goes to show you, like, the game is rigged. And when you get all them fucking opportunities, you can turn up. And when you don't get them, And you gonna be Dan Aykroyd fucking whipping the gun out at the Christmas party, smelling like shit. Yeah. 3 albums. Number 3.
Oh, you count back? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go backwards. Number 3, Life After Death. Life After Death. Life After Death don't get the credit it deserves. Fuck that. It don't get the credit.
Over Ready to Die. I mean, this is your list though.
Nah, Life After Death don't get the credit it deserves. That shit is a fucking masterpiece, dog. That dude took us on a journey, man. He took us from culture to fucking showing how you can create fucking cinema on an album. Like, the shit like Somebody's Got to Die, like just how deep you go into that story is like too fucking intricate for a nigga that's not even that who allegedly didn't write shit down. Like, this nigga, my man, Ron, Arizona, Ron from Tucson, pushed the black Yukon, usually got the slow grooves on, mostly rocked the Isley, stupid as a youngin', chose not to move wisely, sharper with grain, him and his crook, caught the jukes. The nigga come through back like, he's a criminal. Nigga made America's most. Killed his baby mother, brother, slit his throat. Nigga got bagged and toast, weeded, took it to trial, beat it. Now he failed, he undefeated. He mean it. Like, the nigga really go in on that shit, dog. Nigga go in on that shit, dog. So that was number 3.
That's 3.
Number 2 is Reasonable Doubt. Okay. Reasonable Doubt did the same thing for me that Trading Places did. That shit made me think bigger than where the fuck I'm at. Like, the shit he was talking about. When I first heard that album, I was in middle school. I didn't know what the fuck that nigga was talking about. Jay-Z was talking so much fucking big shit that my uncle told me, like, my uncle hit me with it. He was like, shorty, you gotta realize, the shit he was talking was shit that niggas was already in the feds. They was relating to that shit because y'all little niggas running around nickel and diamond. We ain't get it.
The cuts of the diamonds and all that shit till I got a little bit older.
We ain't get it. So it's like, but I knew it was something. And that shit, it took me further. It put me on some other shit. And then number 1 is Illmatic. Illmatic changed my life. My brother, my homie, my other nigga was locked up, and like consecutively when them niggas would call home, I would play that. They would get me to play that shit over and over and over. New York State of Mind, over and over and over and over and over again, because just the imagery and just what he did with words was just some shit that was unheard of. So if I'm gonna go with my 3 verses, then I'm gonna have to say my verse is definitely the first verse on New York State of Mind. Definitely Jay-Z final verse on What More Can I Say? He's just black out on that motherfucker. And they got you in a mag for like $500 million. Your ass ain't Lily White. I mean, that shit that you write must be illy. I don't mean to boast, but damn, if I was brag, the crackers gonna act like I ain't on their ass. The Barter Stewart, that's far from Jewish, far from Harvard Stewart, but had the balls to do it. And no, I'm not through it. He's just black on that shit. I'm gonna go with Pop, White Man's World. That's what I'm gonna go with. Pop be spitting that shit.
Machiavelli, right?
Off of Machiavelli, man. Pop be spitting that shit, man.
You got 1 more.
That was 3. That was the Jay-Z. What More Can I Say? That was the Pac, and then that was the I had said Illmatic, New York State of Mind, John.
Oh no, but you know what? I ain't count New York State of Mind.
Because I said it for albums.
Yeah, for albums. But no, that go. Jump right back into it. Yo, what prompted your transition to journalism, and what was the hardest part from where from where you were before? And everything that you was doing before then, like I said, the cook up. Yo, I never had met you, but when you read that book, that's an example of feeling like you know somebody purely. That's a testament to your writing and your story. That I can feel like I know you, and they never meet your day in my life to the day.
Thank you.
But what was the hardest part? And brothers need to get that book too, so you find out with the other part you was in. But when you left the streets alone,
getting published as a black writer was the hardest part. Like, a lot of times, like, you know, you expect people to try to hold you down, look out for you, help you get in the game when they got certain connections, but it just never really happens like that. It didn't happen like that for me. So the hardest part was all the rejection, but that rejection was also a blessing too, because I learned how to humble myself. Like, I learned that, you know, the shit ain't even about me. It's about me getting shitted on every day, and then picking up the pieces and trying to build myself into being a better person and a better writer. So the hardest part was to actually get published. But it's a blessing in them hard parts too, and I think people should know that. And then I be lying to niggas, like shit just be happening overnight. Like it took me like 2 years, like a year. It took me like maybe a year or more to get a literary agent, but then it took me like another 3 years to sell a cook-up. I got people telling me no from fucking like stacks and stacks of motherfuckers saying no. Nobody care about some nigga from East Baltimore that fucking whatever. Nobody want to hear that. Who is this book for? Like this shit don't even make no to the same people that's, oh my god, it's literary genius. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
3 years it took
being humble enough to take them blows and that disrespect, and then also being humble enough that when people praise you and like tell you that you're great and all that, to not let it go to your head, but just to keep working hard and keep trying to connect. Like, yo, I just, you know, this week I was lucky enough that I got 2 of my homeboys book deals. Like, fuck a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Fuck shout you out on my shit or bring you to one of my events. Nigga, book deal, money, exposure, opportunity. A phone call. I made phone calls. Like, people was coming at me to be like, yo, can you do this? We need this, da. Nah, my man can do it. Oh, well, who is he? Nah, I'm telling you, he can do it. Let me tell you about him. Let me tell you what he got. Let me tell you what he working with, and then I'm gonna connect you with him. I just want a hard yeah before I connect you. Hard yeah. Got him in the door. He signed. He on his motherfucking way. Other homeboy, Martin Luther King Foundation called me up to do Martin Luther King got an unreleased speech that they doing with a book of photos. They had a white boy set up to do the photos. Nah, fuck that. I want my man Devin to do that shit. We want you to write alongside that speech. All right, bet. I'll write alongside it. Who the photographer? Nah, fuck that. My man the photographer. I ain't doing it. White boy get a phone call.
You plugged him right in?
Yeah, I plugged him right in. If she would have came a year ago, I wouldn't be able to be home like that, because you got to go on the road and get that money. But it's like,
I know that's
it's
right.
like, you know, for the last 3 years, I've probably only been in Baltimore for like 6 month out the year for real. That's why even like, yeah. So if it just traveling, doing book events, book talks,
I'm thinking that you booked up. But
it'd be like if I ain't like dealing with some shit that's like my family or like the niggas I come up with or something like that, then like I don't even speak on a whole lot of like what be happening, because I don't be home. So you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's fair for like, you know, everybody to be wanting their name on everything, and it's like they don't really got no proximity to the shit they be talking about. That's why shit don't be getting done, because motherfuckers don't know what they talking about, but they got all the platforms that they just be talking and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know you still gotta go see your homeboys though.
Yeah. When I'm home, like that's why I said this. Like being home has been like, it's been a curse, because so many people have just been hurt and sick, but it's been a blessing because I got to spend so much time with my family, so much time with my niggas, so much time with just like, you understand, just so much time to just be able to sit still and just think, what have I been doing? What could I be doing better? Like how can I utilize whatever connections I have to create more opportunity for niggas that look like me, you know what I'm saying? So
you're still teaching though, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm still teaching, but even like with the teaching tip, it's been like classes is 15 weeks a semester. I might be home half of that, and then the rest of that shit online, digital. So even like next semester, we going online next semester. I was already doing that shit for like the past like 3-4 years. So it ain't really hard for me to make that transition to be able to, because it's writing too. So it's like I can only lecture with so much. Like
I meant to ask you that too, yo. I seen I can't remember the exact interview, but you were talking about you had your own story beyond the memoirs. You do creative writing, right?
Yeah.
I know you got a screenplay in you, if not 2 or 3.
Yo, it's crazy because this like just being home opened up so many opportunities for me to even like take my career in different directions. So before all this stuff happened, I don't know if you heard of everything that went down with the Gun Trace Task Force. And like the cops who went to 8 cops, it was like 11 now, but it started out with 8 cops that went to jail for like selling drugs and like robbing.
Oh, you talking about
like Herschel and Wayne Jenkins and all them. So when that first happened, so I started. That's
like Vicky and them from over the village. But yeah, go ahead.
So I started writing about Herschel robbing people from the neighborhood, coming down the hill, robbing moose, locking this man up for no reason, robbing other people. Like I started writing about that way back in 2014 before it was a story. So when I started writing about it, other reporters from different cities started saying, damn, yo, who's this guy from Baltimore writing this wild ass shit about these cops, and how is it making it into Baltimore Sun and City Paper and all of this, these major newspapers in the city?
You sparked the investigation, or at least one of the components.
I sparked that shit. Like he locked up a rapper who I liked a whole lot. He took some bread from me when I was coming up. He locked up a whole bunch of other niggas that I know, and now he got 18 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't had nothing to do with me. That got something to do with just people started paying attention to what they was doing and how they was moving. You know what I mean? This is a racist white cop that locked up a man for lyrics in his rap video. That's crazy. That's like saying, right? Yeah, so that's like saying if you watch New Jack City, you can charge Wesley Snipes for a brick of dope. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a fucking movie, nigga. Like you can't.
But you saying that's what Joe was doing to niggas over east?
Yeah,
in general. I mean, I'm sure he hated Moose because he was shining a little.
But you know, he was doing, you know, but out of 8 of them, they was rocking some West Baltimore people too. That shit ran from Baltimore to Harford County. The crazy thing about it is this though. So by me doing that early research and writing about this cop, the way I write, David Simon, who made The Wire, hit me up about doing a television show surrounding around crooked cops. Put me in the writer's room. So we started working on a TV show. Damn. But
back then, or
no, this is just that this happened for me in 2019. Okay, 2019 we started working on the TV show. We had to stop working on the TV show because COVID happened, so we had to take a break from it. So while I took a break from it, I published this article, which is like 10,000. That joint, and I just sold that to ABC, Fox, Disney. I just sold that to them.
You sold it to Disney?
Yeah.
Disney check.
I ain't get the check yet, but I'm waiting for that motherfucking deposit to hit. But I sold it to them, and what they're gonna do is we're gonna work at developing it into a television series that doesn't really focus on police officers, but focuses on a black person from Baltimore who has to learn how to navigate and live and survive in an environment. So it's gonna be like the realest shit that has ever been on television, because we're gonna have a point of view from the black dude just coming out the street perspective, not a cop POV.
You got 100% hand in shaping the narrative.
Yeah,
of the show.
I'm running a writer's room. I'm executive producer. I'm running a writer's room. I'm executive producer, and I got the task of putting a team together of their people who they need in the writer's room to make it go. So they got certain writers that they rock with. Some young black writers that's on their shit, that been doing their thing, that wrote like People versus OJ and all that type shit. So like I get to go maul through their work and listen to their pitches and put together who gonna be in the room with me, and we gonna build that out. And it might be people too, can't you? I mean, I already got my homeboy coming. The crazy thing about it is I think that if you know, I'm keeping my mind open, but I'm hoping that it goes on FX. FX is raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a lot of times.
Get a little more leeway.
Yeah, because like Snowfall, Atlanta, like these are shows that I fuck with. And them people, you know, John Singleton really wrote that pilot when he put that show out. Like when John Singleton did Snowfall, he really bring you into the world the way he felt like you needed to be brought into that world. You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, I feel like that's his life, and he should definitely be able to benefit off of his story. So I truly believe that. At the same time, I also understand that Hollywood is more vicious than the streets, and that shit is cutthroat. Same thing with the music industry. Like the same thing with the black experience in America. That's a part of it. Like motherfucker run up on you and take your shit. People don't even know this shit. My first book deal for the cook up, my advance was only like $10,000-$15,000. Like, which is like in the industry where niggas be getting $250,000, $500,000, all that shit.
Don't you get something on the back end though?
You get something on the back end, but you got to earn that money back. You got to earn that money back, and that's still against like a 10-15% royalty. So it's like you ain't playing it up. But this the thing though. This the thing. If I would have let a white boy write my book, that's what their plan was. My check would have been $500,000.
No, get the fuck out of
here. No, I'm trying to tell you, but like this is the fucking.
Yo,
this
you telling me, and they threw you 10, 15.
Yo, so my manager.
But why would you even need him though?
Why would I need who?
Why would you even need a wife? Well, you write yourself.
The reason, okay, so
it ain't like you just started last month.
I didn't. I don't need them. You know what I mean? The thing is that that's how racism works. Like, you only know me as a, you know me as a writer. You don't know me as no nigga that's going on the road telling his story. You know me as somebody who you saw writing this shit down. And my man got the, my homeboy got the deal I was supposed to get around the same time, and we didn't even know each other. We ended up meeting through this girl at this book event probably like 2 years later.
About the dude Slug?
No, that's my brother. That's my homie, not him. Slug and Tony are independent. Tony he went independent with it. I ain't go independent with it. I ain't go independent with it because from the type of writer that I am is like I need that push from a publishing house to put my books in the front of every Barnes and Nobles, in the front of every local bookstore, in a position to be able to get the New York Times. Yeah. So when you go independent, you don't get that New York Times love. Like, I got a New York Times book review for the cook-up. Like, you don't really get that shit when you go independent. And it's like what Tony does is like Tony is more of an activist, an advocate, and like a success story. Than Tony's not like he not a type of writer I am. Like, Tony can write, but I write for a living. Like, I write articles every week. I write books. I've ghostwrote books for other people. Like, I'm a writer. I've ghostwritten shit, yeah. So it's like I'm co-writing Carmelo Anthony book with him right now. So it's like I'm a writer. Like, I write. Like, that's what I do. So like I couldn't walk. I walked into the publishing industry with this same type of energy and ready to have that same type of conversation. You understand? And even still, I got the scraps. You know what I mean? I got the scraps, and I ain't gonna lie, I was so fucked up, so broke at the time that like somebody throwing a number at me, like that type of money I would have got if I would have allowed somebody to write the book, that wasn't even realistic to me. Like, my ego is like, yo, hell no, nigga, I don't give a fuck if you guys do this shit for free. But then my living situation was like, nigga, you get that type of money right now, you probably kill yourself. I probably kill myself. All that fucking money, I done went crazy, dog. Like, yeah, I realized I had like probably like I had like 100. I seen money before, and I got myself into some bad situations, so I wasn't ready. You know what I mean?
Hey, you the wrong. I ain't even start the interview yet. I don't want to keep you out here in the 98 degree.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready and shit. I wasn't ready. Part of their story, and they not no slouch nigga. They work hard as shit. But even if you work hard, you still need somebody to look out. Like, I've been working hard for a long time. With the ABC Disney deal, a dude who used to be an assistant director on The Wire, who's doing this thing in Hollywood, he plucked my shit and was like, nah, we need to fight to sign him. So even like he doing this thing, and I think that gotta be the story more. It gotta be the story more. Like, so it's like that gotta be the story. Like, the story gotta be, yo, my homegirl walked me in the door and helped me get to the bag. That gotta be the story. The story can't be, oh, this nigga forgot where he come from, this nigga forgot his neighborhood. It's like, nah, nigga, I'm not gonna march up and down the street with a picket sign, but I'm gonna help you get some motherfucking money in your pocket. You know what I mean? You take care of your motherfucking family. Like,
that's all that make a difference. That's all I care about.
That's the game. Like, that's the game. So I think that gotta be the story. Like, niggas will hop on television and niggas will hop on CNN and all that shit and talk about how much they love niggas all day, and then leave the studio and walk past 3 black homeless people and get the black waiter fired because they made a mistake and put ice in their water and they went at room temperature. This is how niggas be moving. So we gotta change the narrative, and that ain't no overnight thing. There's some shit that we gotta do for 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years. It's a slow hustle. The hardest part was leaving people out, because when you writing a book, like, when you from a city like Baltimore, you might go through like fucking a lot of different sets of homeboys, because niggas be catching 40 years and niggas be dying. You know what I'm saying? So how am I gonna write a book talking about a time in my life and ask the reader to be able to follow fucking 30 niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to go to this little club, Paradise Lounge. When I first went, like, my first time at a nightclub was this place, Colosso's, I think it was called.
You remember Colosso's? You remember the little
young.
Underground?
Yeah, I was young.
I could never get in that joint.
I was young, but it was this dude named Posse. They used to call him Wise.
They said Colosso.
And it was this dude. I don't know if you remember the dude Posse named Wise from Disneyland. But when they used to go out, they used to like to go out with 40 niggas. So I'm like, yo, nigga, I can't get in no club, nigga. I'm 12. Like, nah, we need to go out with 40 niggas. So we would all go to this spot, Paradise Lounge, or go to that spot. Yeah,
so you don't want to lose everybody.
So how is the reader going to be able to follow? How is the reader going to be able to follow the narrative of like, and you might really be close to 10, 15, 20 people because, especially if y'all on the same block, you know your grandmother, his aunt's grandmother.
But you can't put everybody
in there because it's like, first of all, it might be 4 niggas named Tavon, another 6 niggas named Drake. Like that should be confusing. You know what I'm saying? So it should get confusing. So you can't really. It's difficult to do it. So that was the hard part. And then as far as like reactions to it, the funniest thing about it is a nigga wrote. I never forget this. A nigga wrote the Baltimore Sun, and mind you, the Baltimore Sun ain't had nothing to do with none of this shit. But even the people of the Sun thought it was funny. They was like, "How you let this nigga have a book and y'all have an article?" First of all, they ain't let me have no book, nigga. I work hard as shit for it. But they say, "How you let this nigga have a book and have an article?" And I was getting way more money than that nigga. I was like, yo, shove you that, but I ain't never get to follow up. But it's like the funniest shit. It's the funniest shit. It was the funniest shit in the world, cause you know what I mean. The nigga probably wasn't lying. He probably was getting more money.
when we started taking the writing serious, I was like, yo, this what I'm gonna do. This what I'm commit myself to. Like you were saying, when we had started, and you was like, yo, the you know, when times is lean and hard, did you ever want to step your foot back out there? And I'm assuming that's before, you know what I mean, your lady and your daughter. But did you ever want to step back out there to kind of make ends meet?
No.
Or when you was done, you was done? When
I was done because there just wasn't nothing for me. Like, I learned how to live broke. I learned how to sleep on the floor. You know what I say? You know what I'm saying? What they say, you sleep on the floor so you can't fall out of bed. Like, I learned how to do that shit. So, like all the fun times you had with your homies when they gone, them fun times is they memories.
Man, that's just a story to tell somebody.
All the money you fuck up, that money's gone, and it's like, but the one thing,
never miss it. You never miss it.
I mean, we in America. We miss money, but I think like I also feel like the money don't last, the friends don't last. The only thing that lasts is the pain. So it's like if I'm going back to collect more of that. I want some more. Like, and the shit already going on. I gotta be a part of it. The shit already going on. I gotta be a part of it. And then it's also not the same. Like, even if you was born in the 80s and you coming up in the 90s, the dudes born in the 70s, they made all the real money anyway. Like, you know what I mean? We the tail end of they shit. So the kids that's coming up in the 2000s, they don't know what it's like for him to be on Patterson Park, you to be on Glover, you to be on Port Street, me being on Stripper Street, and we all doing $10,000 a day. Like, they don't know what that shit is. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like the generation.
It's different. You got half the niggas out there popping pills, and then they selling dope, and then the junkies is trading the oxys for the motherfucking they trading the oxys for the fent. And I just fuck my head up when I see a young boy hustling, slick young boy out there hitting his sales. He on his phone. He got the bitches pulled up. I seen the junkie knock him out. I said, God damn, this crazy. Like, and the junkie squared. The junkie give him a good, yeah, nephew, bop, bop, bop.
No, them niggas can fight though. Every junkie, every crackhead ain't a sucker. Every crackhead ain't a sucker.
Every crackhead ain't a sucker. But if you got the block, you supposed to humble yourself, nigga. Like, why I gotta be humble? You know what I mean? You give him the yeah.
But you should have known, yo, was
size him up good too.
The knockout master.
Oh my God, he sized him up good. He had a good one, bro. 2-piece hot sauce.
Yo, let me going back to when you was talking about the article 1 Mile Away, which was dope. I put at least 4 brothers on that who had no idea. What's your worst experience with police that you could talk about?
Worst experience with police that I can talk about on camera. The worst experience with police that I can actually talk about is, I don't know the dollar amount, but I lost a lot of money before. I lost not just my money, it was my money and like 4 other people's money. And I'm still here, and I thank God for life. And some of them other people that was tied into that, they went on a mission to trying to chase. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was trying to, you know, when you lose some money, you trying to. I need to get it back, and it was just
that shit don't end well though.
It was a police thing though. It's, you know, nobody went to jail. Right now, I already been planning this shit for over a year. But every 7th grade and every 8th grade are gonna be reading my book. We speak for ourselves. I want to go meet all of them. I want to meet all of them, but I think the giving back part is like a part of the culture that I was raised in. When I say that, I mean like it was dudes like Dirk Byers that used to like pick everybody up from our neighborhood and pick all his little niggas up from Deaton Land and put everybody together and take us all to Wild World, take us all go-kart riding. On the way home, take us all to McDonald's. Everybody get whatever y'all want. Like to show us, you know what I don't even know if he just like looking out for us or if he was trying to teach us a lesson. But it's that same tradition of just like he ain't had to do that shit. Like he ain't had to do that. Like he was doing his thing. Like he ain't had to do that, but we looked up to him if he didn't do that. But by him doing that, we looked up to him even more.
That's real though. By him and y'all was young.
We was little kids, and I think like growing up, I always had that mentality of like, all right, we out here, everybody out here, we doing what we do or whatever. But it's like, yo, why is this lady, this grandmother raising her 4 grandkids? Why they feet all fucked up? How I'ma sit here and they got fucked up feet? Ain't nothing for me to just buy them all some ass. Buy them all, you know what I mean? Like that shit ain't nothing for real. Like it's fucking, I got so many tennis shoes that I don't even wear. These little kids walking around with holes in their shoes. It ain't nothing for me to spend $300, you know what I mean, on a bunch of Air Force Ones for some kids. And some of them little kid sizes. So it's like I'm getting like 5-6 pair of tennis shoes. It's like stuff like that has always been in me. So it's just, when I get into this world of literature, obviously you don't have the same disposable income, especially when you want to come up, that you have, as a street guy, but at the same time, you got access to things that they need. So instead of me giving away, well, I still give away sneakers, but like we gave away like maybe like 150 laptops now, and the kids who going learning from home. You know what I'm saying? Like they actually
talking about doing it
right now over the last couple months. So that's what I'm saying. People talking about like what we gonna do for the kids? Everybody homeschool. A lot of these niggas ain't got computers. A lot of schools ain't pull up with the computers, and then some of the schools people that ain't got computers, who got computers, they don't got Wi-Fi. So it's like, yo, how the fuck you gonna get to a Zoom class? You don't got no goddamn Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna go to school now.
And then what if your uncle or somebody steal your shit? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you got all these different variables and all these different things to deal with, and our local government is bragging about getting like $3 million. They're talking about they closing the digital divide in Baltimore. The digital divide in Baltimore is an $18 million problem, dog. That shit ain't no $3 million problem. It costs $18 million to fix that problem. They saying they closed the digital divide because they got city council signed over $3 million to fix that problem. It's an $18 million problem. I'm Joe, regular nigga. I'm an artist. I should have had to be doing this shit. That should be something that when Hogan talking about cutting money, when Jack Young got the job, Brandon about to get the job. This the shit they supposed to be working on. They giving $500 million to police officers. They bragging about cutting $20 million off of that, but they not talking about you can't take 18 million out that you can't take 25 million out that. Obviously, police giving money to police don't fucking work. Them niggas don't solve murders. Them niggas don't fucking them niggas suck at their fucking job. So why these niggas get 500 million? It don't make them better. They taking the money and they just giving niggas overtime for fucking sitting in front of places and being on their phone. So what I'm saying is you could take 25 million, this for 1 year, this their budget. You could take 25, $30 million out they 500 million. Nothing would change. They'll still do the same bullshit work, but you can take that money and you can get all of these little kids in Baltimore City fucking Wi-Fi and good computers so that they can do their work, so that they don't fall too far behind from not being able to go to school because of the COVID shit. And then when you ask these about when I see them and I ask them when I had these conversations with them or when we talk about it, it's always like, oh, it's too political. We gonna work on it. I'm gonna hit you on the side. All y'all niggas say everything else on the internet. Talk about that shit. Everything dealing with empowering, uplifting, and giving love to black people's political. It get too political. We a black city, 65% black city, dog. Why the fuck do white people still control the vote? Like, this shit goofy. Like, it's crazy. Yo, Mary Miller almost got elected, dog, and she don't even know nobody. Nobody never heard of her till she just fucking ran for mayor. Who heard of her? Where she come from? Real shit. Come on, you know DJs. Come on, bro. Where she come from? Where you ever heard of her? I never heard of this lady in my life. If I could change 3 things in Baltimore, the first thing I would change is first thing I would change is I would get rid of the police department. I would just throw that whole shit in the trash. That's a part of the problem. The second thing I would change the structure of our schools and how they work. I wouldn't just be giving kids busy work or making them subscribe to some bullshit curriculum because somebody said it's a good idea. I would create some type of system that focuses on their talent and encouraging them to be able to get internships and jobs and ways to be able to express that talent and making sure they are able to graduate with the skills they need to take care of their family, take care of themselves and their family. And then the third thing I would do is I would put some type of industry here that
you say some type
of industry here. Like we have an industry problem. Like you would think that the industry would be like Under Armour, but even when you walk on their campus, you're not seeing a lot of black people. And that's like, so the people who not really, the people like back in the day, it used to be old men that used to always talk about, you finish high school, nephew, you go get a job at Bethlehem Steel. If you work at Bethlehem Steel, you can make enough money to have some kids, a stay-at-home wife, and a girlfriend. That's what old niggas used to say. That's what they used to always say and shit, right? So I'm growing up, I'm like, nigga, I don't even know.
That money was good for that time.
And I'm growing up, nigga, I never even seen a piece of coal. Like, I don't know what that shit look like. Like, so I think that we need some type of industry here. Like, I wish there was a company that made a product here that we can sell globally. We used to have the beer. They used to do Natty Boh here. That's not here no more. And they took their factories to Milwaukee. Natty Boh's factories are in Milwaukee. That used to be Baltimore Brew. That shit's in Milwaukee now. So it's like, we need some type of industry here. So the people who not getting it in schools, they'll be able to find something to do within that industry. So we need to get rid of police officers in general. I think if you wanted to try to like, and the only reason why I say it,
you mean reform them, or you mean totally eradicate?
It don't work. It don't work. Like it don't work. Like I'm telling you, like as a person coming from here, as a person, I've been every level, from a criminal to a professional to like a working man. I did every lifestyle I did here. I've never called them. Unless I needed unless I need insurance. Unless a
nigga hit your car and shit.
Unless a nigga hit my car or break in one of my houses, I'm not calling them niggas. Because if you break in my house, then I need to get the insurance claim to get my money back. Yeah. That's property. So basically, we don't need cops. We need property liaisons, niggas who come out to make reports for insurance. That's what we need. We don't, because I've never ever like, and mind you, when you talk about like rapists and all them type of weird freak ass niggas and all that, the streets can police that. We can police ourselves. We can police, because you put your hands on somebody that's close to me, I'm still not calling the police. I'm gonna come bust your head. Like, I ain't even talking about that. Like, I ain't nothing to talk about. Like, I'm not gonna say, hello? Yeah, 911. Yeah, he had on some bootcut jeans. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck I look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm gonna be outside. Like, because I don't expect them to come and do a sketch and then go find a nigga and then be like, that's only on TV, only on Law and Order. That's Law and Order shit. That's not real shit. So I don't think we need them. I don't think we need them there. I think it's a waste of money. Look at the results. Do you feel safe? Like, you feel like extra safe and shit? I mean, imagine you fussing with your girl, and you know what I'm saying? This ain't ever happened to me, but let's just imagine. You fussing with your girl, and she smacked you across the head with the remote, and then you get smacked across the head with the Febreze can, and then the neighbor hear y'all wilding, and the neighbor hear y'all wilding, and then all of a sudden the police come with a gun, and you mad, and she mad, and that's a recipe for disaster. Somebody going to jail, somebody gonna get shot, some shit gonna happen. So what I'm saying is that I mean, I've been smacked with a remote and a Febreze by a girl, not my girl, but by
I've been hit with the shit.
The old relationships. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. the girls you gotta leave alone. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that what if somebody who came out that know how to conflict negotiate it and know how to de-escalate a hostile situation? Right. What if you send them in first? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You always send in an armed motherfucker to handle these types of problems. Like, that shit don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. It's not a good strategy.
You ain't gonna de-escalate nothing. There's only one way we can go once they're
not even trained to de-escalate shit. That's what I'm saying. They trained to shoot when they think a nigga got a gun. That's what they trained to do. These motherfuckers are not from Baltimore. They don't know black people. Then the first time they meet black people, they gotta base all their shit on rap music and fucking stereotypes. And they 22 years old, and they got the two strongest things a person can have: the ability to take your freedom or the ability to take your life. This is what the fuck they pulling up with. And they don't know shit about black people. They just don't. I don't like them niggas. Now problem solved. And them niggas dumb. And they not even smart. Them niggas not even smart. So it's like they don't even know shit. So it's like it's a bad. You wonder why shit be so fucked up. This is what's happening. And then when I pull you into the game, let's say I'm a cop. I pull you into the game. Oh yeah, they get money over there. We gonna hit them. And then we lock him up every time to keep our numbers up. This nigga just goofy and loud. He shouldn't even be over to jail. He just a loud nigga that don't know what to say. We lock him up. Yo,
to make it look like we done something.
That's what shit the niggas don't understand, yo. Eric Gardner got killed because of selling loose cigarettes. Eric Gardner got killed. No, he didn't. Eric Gardner was known for selling loose cigarettes. He wasn't selling loose cigarettes the day he died. The day he died, he just broke a fight up in the park across the street from that store. When he broke the fight up, he was overweight, so he was tired, leaning on the wall. He was already tired because he was out of shape. When that man choked him, he choked him because at roll call, his boss told him to go out, knock some heads, and make some arrests because we got to get our numbers in. That's how you get money for policing to keep the stats up. So he died because of a fucking quota. That nigga died because of a fucking quota. And it still took the nigga that killed him on tape 5 years before he even lost his fucking job. He just got fired like last year. That's how fucked up it is out here. That's the game. That's the shit we gotta deal with. That's what it is. I was like, yo, it's young women being cursed with beauty is a motherfucker. Like, cause you gotta deal with a whole nother different type of shit. Like, you know.
And the niggas start thinking about that for the minute she in the bassinet, you're like, dang.
Nigga like, what you want, an ugly daughter? Yeah, bro. Ugly daughter with a crossover. Ugly daughter with a hezzy. Bow.
Niggas jump 17 years in the future.
For me, fatherhood means that I don't have the luxury to lose. I can't lose. I can't lose. Like, I always gotta pull up. I always gotta be there. Even in death, I gotta pull up. So, you know, when I die, them connections, them opportunities, and that bag, all that shit gotta be right there for her so that she don't have to start from zero or the bottom. She'll get like a nice comfy head start. But not even just materialism and knowing people, but also like just having that she always feels loved and knows how to love herself and truly understanding what that means. And I gotta inject that into her through every phase of her life while I'm still here. While I'm here, she gotta get that, and she gotta be on top of that. She gotta have that constantly. That's my job. Like, you know, people. This one lady, she got mad at me. I was at this event, and it was like some type of dinner. Somebody was celebrating me for something there. Like, I was like in Oakland. There was like all these motherfuckers at the table, and she was like real into that genealogy shit. And I was a little, you know, I'm a little different now, but at this particular time, I was a little bit more unpolished. And she was like, "You don't want to know where your grandfather and your great grandfather and where I come from?" And I'm like, "Nah, not really." She was like, you don't want to know this, and that. And I'm like, nah. And she like, why? I'm like, yo, because the niggas ain't leave me shit. And then I just finished my joke. And then she got, yo, what's up, bro? And she got so mad. She got so mad. And mind you, I'm a student of history. I love history, like, especially Reconstruction era. I study it. I think about it a lot. I think about black business. I think about Robert Smalls and the transformation shit he did. I think about the Montgomery brothers. I think about fucking, you know, like how all of that shit was stripped away because of hate and racism, and how even like W.E.B. Du Bois really redefined what I study as Reconstruction when he challenged the Dunning School at Columbia University. Like, I think about all of that shit a lot. Like, I really fuck with it. With all that, I still never was a person that would sit around and be like, yo, what my grandfather do? And then it never really, it wasn't my thing, and it never really hit me until I became a father. And then I'm like, dang, well, maybe she might want to know. So I started looking it up, and I started talking to people, and my grandfather from Lafayette, he was like one of the first families to move in Lafayette out of the projects. He fought in the war. He didn't get one of them guaranteed VA loans, but he grinded some money up and bought a house. He had a wife. His wife couldn't have no kids, so he met my grandmother, who was a side chick, and put some babies in her. And all of this shit kind of came out like after he died, but he died when my father was like 11, so he didn't really know the nigga like that. And the nigga died eating like some custard pie, or by like Lexington Market, some shit like that, or like Broadway Market. I forgot this shit written down somewhere. One of them markets, he eating a pie, he come outside and just drop dead and shit. And with all that being said, and with all he was able to do, I'm like, damn, that nigga ain't leaving nigga nothing. It ain't like he had kids, nigga. A lot of kids, like, he has a couple kids at the side chick, she don't get nothing. But
was it hard for you to find all that? Or you just like the oral history of going through
we said, you know,
family and
we just met, but I feel you a survivor. We survivors, dog. Like, we just survive. Like, we survive. Like, all right, bet. What hand you give me? What hand I got? All right, bet. No kings, no aces, and no bunch of fucking.
I like that. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? All right, all right, bet.
No kings, no aces.
Now let's
running with the jacks.
Now let's bluff all the way up until we you know what I mean? Until we dictate, until we housing this shit. Let's bluff until we housing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, my worst memory. I'm gonna start with the worst. My worst memory, yo, from this shit. My worst memory is a dude who I really used to look up to, have a whole lot of love for in publishing. Started hating on me when my career started to take off a little bit, and it kind of fucked my head up because I just wasn't expecting it. You know, I would never think that like.
So he a colleague as far in that realm right there with you.
Yeah, and like when I published my first little New York Times piece, that was like the first motherfucker I called up. Yo, I'm in the Times, yo. Oh, all right, bet. And you know, but you know, at the end of the day, I learned some shit from him, and I think I just want us to be able to like I want it to be a nation of us who can pull triggers. You know what I'm saying? The best memory is I helped get my man a book deal. He from Luzerne and Jefferson, nigga. He from Luzerne and Jefferson. He going on tour. He from Luzerne and Jefferson. Condwani Fidel. He from around the way. He got a book deal. He in the game now. Like, my colleagues don't know him as, they ain't gonna know him as, oh, that's D. Watkins and them homeboy. They gonna know him as, oh, that's Condwani. His book is blah, 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 blah. He in the game now. He in the game. He on his way. And that's like, that's my biggest honor, because at the end of the day, I think we only as strong as it ain't about being a king. You got to be a king maker, nigga. Like, fuck being a king. Make some kings, nigga.
King makers.
You know, you want to be the only nigga around paying for everything at the party? Nah, man. Fuck that. Drinks on that nigga when shit open back up.
What Jay say? Everybody.
Like, when you can like help somebody get in a position, and mind you, he's not successful because of me. He worked his ass off. He's talented and he grind. Like, a lot of people talented, but a lot of people don't grind. I'd rather fuck with a nigga that grind who's not talented than fuck with a nigga who's talented and don't grind. Because the talented nigga who
that can make you lazy.
Yeah, the talented nigga who don't grind gonna be in the house all day. The talent ain't worth shit because you in the house all day chilling. But he's a talented young nigga who grind. So when I pull up to these spots with these opportunities, you can't say no. Because he's talented and he worked his ass off and he deserves everything that's coming to him. And that's like, that's my biggest honor, bro. Like, and as he grows in his career and he get awards and trophies and plaques and fucking big ass paychecks and shit, in the back of his mind, he gonna know like where the little homies I'm pulling up. And he already got like 2 or 3 little homies that he fucking with. One of them just got like a 4 scholarship to UCLA to study acting. Young nigga named Scott Thorough. Mean ass poet. You would love this nigga. He a mean poet. Went to the School of Arts. He's a mean poet. He's humble. He worked his ass off. He wants to be an actor. So like, at the end of the day, that's how you do it. Like, that's how you do it. And it ain't even about helping people that just got talent all of the time, because you also got to put on for your homie that don't got them big artistic ambitions, but they just want a regular job. And if you can pull that plug, then you got to do that shit. And that's the game. Everybody got answers and shit, but like, fuck them with them. Fuck your speech and fuck your little TED talk and fuck your weak ass fucking t-shirt, nigga. Like, what the fuck is you gonna do for some nigga? Who can be like, yo, you know what I mean? I know if I call this brother, I know he gonna pull up. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, he gonna pull up. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what it is, man. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's how it works.
Yo, what's the 2 most important lessons you learned thus far?
When you get give, when you learn teach. That's Maya Angelou. And then lift as you climb. Lift as you climb, you know what I mean?